Hi everyone, welcome to Phonics Time Together. It's another session on phase 3 and we're going to be looking at a new sound, the letter V. So it's same as before really. The first few slides, I've got the blue background. They're going to take you through the guidance and some things to think about and look out for with your children, a little bit of knowledge about the phonics that we're going to be covering together, and then the slides change to orange and they're the ones that you can use with your child. So in terms of the blue section, I always recommend spending a bit of time on that before you do head straight into the orange. Probably even better if you did that at night time when the kiddies are off in bed. You can have a good think about the actual content and feel like you're ready to then sit with them and work on the orange section. Okay, same structure as before. We're going to go over some previously taught graphemes that the child should know. We then got a new tricky word today. We're going to learn our phoneme for the grapheme, and then we're going to practice reading some words with that grapheme in them, and we'll try a few sentences and consider a couple of possible follow-up activities. So we're moving on in phase 3. So last time we learned J, this time we're learning V. And we're sort of working our way through these. Each time we learn one, you'll see that it turns red. Okay, so when we do revisit, just a quick reminder that we'll go over all the previous graphemes, and then you'll see all the ones that we've recently learned as well added into that pack, just to make sure they revisit and get that confidence as they go through. So same as last time, we'll ask them if they're ready. They'll see all 4, then they'll hear me say the sounds S, J, T, P. For you guys, I'm just going to keep saying them as they come up. K, G, D, N, E, O, R, K, H, F, L, S. And then at this part of the section, it's about speed really, so that we click a little bit quicker. And what we want is that speed retrieval. So we don't want children taking too long to try and think about what is the phoneme, what's the sound for that. We need it super quick. So when they start to read fluently, they'll be sort of hitting 4 of those in less than a second, and we want it sort of automatic so that they're not having to think too much. So on this video, we're looking for Bolt speed. You might need to explain who Usain Bolt is and why he's fast. So we will go in, getting through them at a good pace. And then the usual big well done. But also if there were some that they really did get stuck on or slowed right down, you might want to pause the video and take them back to it. And then you have a go at demonstrating it, or if you didn't have the confidence in demonstrating, you could rewind to where I say the sound, and then you could let them have a turn again and just work on the little bits that they're not so sure at. But yeah, finish this section with a big well done. It'd be nice to create your own special high five that you do every time, or a bit of an elbow dab or whatever's going on at the minute with the virus. You find some sort of celebration that works for you guys. And then we'll learn a tricky word in this session. Very easy, because last time we did he, this time it's me. Same sort of concept, that actually the children know that as eh. And what makes it tricky is that it's got an e sound, not an eh. So it's me. So we'll get them working on that. And then we've got v in van, v in vest, and v in vase. I picked those pictures because they're all pretty straightforward. We wouldn't get the children reading vest or vase because of the way they're spelt. They sort of have graphemes in that the children won't have learnt at this point, but it's good for them to recognise that vocab with the sound within it. We will do the usual my turn, your turn. Remember, like last time, we're going to get them to say it lots and lots of times to help sort of cement it in their memory. Sometimes, I'm not really working on writing, it's a focus on reading, but you could get them to come up to the screen and trace over the shape of the letter with their finger and then write it in the air or write it on the carpet, just to get a sort of feel of the shape of it. Reminded about blending, so we'll just remind the children that they need to say each sound above the sound button, and the sound button are those blue dots underneath the word. So we've got v, a, n, van, and we'll let them have a turn at that. So here we've got our 8 words containing the letter V, or today's grapheme. So we've got V, A, N, van, V, A, T, vat, V, E, T, vet, V, I, K, Vic, K, E, V, I, N, Kevin, V, I, S, it, visit. Visit's an interesting one actually, because I went S, but it's actually that sort of Z sound in the middle. V, I, Z, it, visit. There's our tricky word that will hopefully your child should be able to spot. We've got she, and we've got V, E, L, V, E, T, velvet. You notice that I don't really go into what these words mean. Phonics is all about being able to read words. You might have some really nice discussions about this after the video. I'm not sure you've got any velvet in the house, but you might point out some of these things so they can actually see what they mean. But phonics is all about actually reading these words. So we'll move on from blending and then give them a try to read them with some fluency. Your child might need a little bit longer on the blending before they get to this. That's fine. Lots and lots of practice, and hopefully we can start to read more and more of these without having to sound them out and blend them. We can just say van, vat, vet, or whatever they're working on. Big well done for their reading. Just, were they nice and clear? Were they starting to read some of the words with fluency? Were they able to blend the phonemes back together? Either of that wants a good celebration and your own special high five or whatever you've got going on. We'll finish the session with a few sentences. Again, I'll leave the third sentence to be a little bit longer. You'll notice we've retained the J from last time, just so we don't forget that. So we've got Jen, the vet, had a van. Your child might need to blend some of those words, so they might say Jen, the vet, had a van. They might really sort of know these graphemes well, and it might just be reading practice. Jen the vet had a van. That's fine as well. One of the things I want from these videos is that you can support your child to learn to read, but also it's giving them something something to practice with, which is exactly what they need. So get them reading those sentences. Really, really positive. If there are certain areas that they forget or are struggling with, just demonstrate. Okay, be brave enough to demonstrate. You might have to demonstrate the actual grapheme that's missing. So if we think about Vic had a visit to maybe they forgot what the G actually sounds like, and they forgot that it's a G. You might have to go G, and then they can do the I, and then they'll probably say the G because they've just heard you do it, and blend it together, gig. So yeah. Don't sort of test them. Lots and lots of support until they're reading these sentences with fluency. One of my Facebook's posts, I put about maybe using the videos a couple of times. So you sort of have a run through, and then the following day you do it again. So there's no harm in that. It's that we're giving our children more and more opportunity to practice and say, have a good go at reading, really. And the more goes they have at reading, the more automatic it's going to become and the more fluent they'll become. So make sure you spend lots of time on those sentences, lots of success. After this, you might not, so yes, you could play the whole video again, but you might just want to go back to certain bits of it that they struggle with and practice those sentences or words. And like last time, let's grab an amazing book and read to your child. On my Facebook page, I also shared what Audible are doing, a part of Amazon, how they've got some of their audio books are free at the moment, so that might be something you want to play and have a listen to. But nothing beats a child seeing one of their sort of loved ones reading. It really does inspire them. Thank you for taking the time again to sort of get your head around this and learn. If you do have questions, use the Facebook page, which is I'll try and get back to you. But I want you to have the confidence to sort of really sit with your child and get them reading. Okay, so at this point you might want to call your child over and get them to sit on your lap or sit on the cushion. I recently talked about getting a routine. What is going to be the routine for when you use these videos? Is it sitting on the sofa, sitting on the floor together? Are they on your lap? Do you have to pull up a cushion, special chair, whatever? Get your routine sorted, all nice and prepared, nothing in the hands, ready to concentrate. Okay, so it's time to practice our sounds, and we have some of the sounds from before that we practiced when we did j, and somewhere in our practice will also be j. So I will click all 4 sounds. I will then go through the sounds just so you can check how well you've done. Let's go. S, j, t, p. K, g, d, m. E, o, k. H, f, l, s. Fantastic. Just like last time, we're now going to go super speedy because we want to be able to recognize them super fast and say them really, really quickly, but still clearly. We're going to go for Bolt speed. Bolt is has got the world record for the 100 meters. He's super fast. That's how fast we're going today. Okay. Fabulous work with your sounds, super speedy. That's exactly what we want, recognizing those sounds and saying them nice and quickly. Right, today we've got a different tricky word which was similar to our last one, but this time we've got the tricky word me. So we've got and then we've got e, and that's the tricky bit because you guys have probably learnt it as but it's not meh. We're not feeling meh today. This is definitely me. So have a go at saying this tricky word, me. Fabulous, well done. So me, and maybe me is going to pop up in our practice words later. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got v in van, v in vest, v in vase. And when we're trying to say v, it's our bottom lip that'll be against those top teeth, v, to make that sound. So can you say the sound v? Can you say it 2 more times? Well done. Can you say it to the ceiling? Can you say v to the floor? Can you turn to whoever has sat with you and say it to them? And can they say it back? Fabulous. So that is today's grapheme phoneme that we're going to learn. We've got the v. So let's practice reading some of those words with v in them. But before we do, we better remind ourselves about blending. So here's a v word. So you've got our sound buttons. V, a, n, van. Your turn. And remember to say the word at the end, so we don't just want v, a, n and forget at that. We leave it at that point. We want to say v, a, n, van. Some of you might have just spotted that word and said van. That's excellent too. Okay, we need to practice our sounds. So number 1 goes like this. V, a, n, van. Your turn. Number 2, v, a, t, vat. Your turn. And number 3, v, e, t, vet. Number 4, v, I, k, vic. And number 5, k, e, v, I, n, Kevin. Your turn. And number 6, v, I, z, it, visit. And number 7, that hasn't got v in it, that's our tricky word, me. Your turn. And number 8, v, e, l, v, et, velvet. So that was a trickier one, isn't it? Right, you might want to pause the video at this point and have another few goes at reading some of those words and practicing them. Okay, let's try and read some of these words with some fluency, so a little bit quicker. You might want to pause the video at this point while your child, so your child can work on these words and have a go at reading them with a little bit more fluency. Good job, everyone. That's excellent reading and good practice. So we're going to move on now and try and apply some of that learning in some of our sentences. Now we can see a few of the graphemes all identified in red because they're what we've been working on today. You'd also notice I've pinched a j from last time, and that's hidden in there as well. So you want to pause the video and have a go at reading some of these sentences. Read them over and over as many times as you want to until you've got that confidence and you're reading them fluently. Excellent work today, everyone. Really, really good. More reading practice for you that's gone well. Hopefully you can sort of load this video back up again and have another go at it in the week, and just so you can remind yourself of some of the sounds when you see the graphemes. But read and read and read it till you've got that fluency. Thank you for watching the video. Look out for more. They're on their way.